I did realize that like taking my drag name was really just like everyone just needs to get to know who I am on a personal level, and it just made sense to just go by Chito at all times.
Cool.
So I started 2 years ago, and it was at an open stage at
The
Legacy.
drink has arrived.
The drink has
Okay,
arrived.
thank you.
He said that it was like a spicy mark.
Period.
But
I'm down for that.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Okay. Salud.
Yeah, so it is.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm.
I love
Oh
it.
yeah.
So I started 2 years ago.
Okay.
They turned the open stage into a competition series that week.
Yeah.
And so it kind of changed my whole projection from like, I think this will be fun in front of like an early show at the nightclub to like, all eyes are on you and let's see if you can win it.
Mm-hmm.
And I did my very
No
first
way,
night.
what?
Yeah. And that meant that I already had another gig booked for me like several months later to come back for the semifinals.
Oh
And then
my
I
God.
realized I don't have to be the best one there. I just need to make sure I still have enough. I love being like a gamer. I'm
Okay.
I love games.
Okay.
It's like, how do I keep moving on even if I don't have to be first?
Mm-hmm.
And I crushed it, and I feel like that really cemented me as a performer
Okay.
very quickly, and I decided to use that to my advantage to continue to show who I am as an individual, as a person, as the community that I wish to see for myself. And I think that really started to change how much, the drive of drag is not just my hobby, it's now in like a way to like troll the Boston community. But it turned into just really loving the space and wanting to do more for it to enhance what was already around me.
Yeah. So what? So tell me more about that. Like, what are you doing? Because I actually saw you perform at like Satellite. So
Yeah.
tell me what are you trying to cultivate and goals?
Yeah, so like I have found that there's a space that is beautiful called Satellite,
Mm-hmm.
and working with them and bringing more drag into newer venues that like hadn't experienced like the whole drag community itself. It felt like the right place to really bring it
Yeah.
to that space there. And for me, I currently run a lip sync battle tournament,
Yeah.
and
It's so good.
Yeah.
it's so fun. It's so fun. Everything ranging from like David Bowie to Talking Heads to Santigold to Beyonce. I get a good range of like a lot of different, I don't know, spices of music and monologues too. So I think a lot of it is really challenging like the competitors to like come through.
Mhm.
And I feel like the structure of the night allows for a lot of socializing.
Cool.
And it's like the show's not the main point either. It's kind of just like an important aspect of the night.
Yeah.
But there's so many like breaks throughout to really just let people kind of just enjoy the night and enjoy each other's company.
That's sick. I love that. I
Mm.
respect that a lot because I feel like, I don't know, there's not enough intermissions. I feel like we all need a
Enough
break,
intermission.
like, right? I feel like that's helpful in which to like, I don't know, cultivate space. Because I feel like I went there like completely by myself and I like was a loser and I had a book at the bar. And then like during intermission, I just like sat down next to, I think Brooke Poole or whatever, and I was like, hi, like it was kind of fun. So yeah, no, I think that I really appreciate you like doing that and like would hope you continue. So like, yeah, like what's your like with like drag and stuff in particular, since we're already on the topic. I'm just kind of curious, like where are we going? Like what are we trying to do?
Gosh.
What's your dream?
My dream? Honestly, it really is like choosing I don't know, I consider myself like the joy boy of like Boston drag. Like
Okay.
I really do try to express how I am at all times through radical joy,
Yeah.
through being very off the beaten path, tooting to my own drums. Is that the phrase? No, that's like no. Wait.
Toot, I think you toot to your own horn.
That's what it
But,
is.
but if you're on the beaten path, you're tuned to your own drum,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
We're not on the
Drum
beaten path
tape.
of metaphors.
I'm the worst at metaphors, but y'all got it. Y'all got it. I have a structure of the vision of what I wish to seek, and it's one of those things where like I remind myself like sometimes take the natural path of what comes my way while still working on my opportunities. But I think no matter what, I'm an artist first before anything else, and I'm very like I'll take the long path if it means that I'm able to be in control of the curation of what surrounds me.
Nice. Okay, yeah.
And I think I just find really cool, incredible people like y'all too. And like, it's just like, I think it just happens in a way that like, I enjoy the pace. And I don't want to mess with that yet.
Cool. I
Yeah.
respect that because frankly, I feel like sometimes I like work too quickly where I'm like demanding myself like I want to be here X, Y, and Z, and then I end up like beating myself up, and then it's like actually you could just kind of enjoy the ride a little bit. It's like kind of cool. I respect that. Oh, that's so wow. With such a wonderful wisdom. I love this. Aaron. Okay, so Aaron, tell us like so. Yeah. What are you? Who are you? That was a long-winded introduction. I want to at least give you the chance as well.
No, that was lovely. I'm not gonna match that, but I also love asking you like, what's your deal?
Mm-hmm.
You know. So my deal is I've been kind of working on a couple different projects around creating community in this area, especially Cambridge and Somerville, but also around Boston over the past several years. So one of those projects is I run a group called Culture House.
Yeah.
We're a nonprofit organization focused on creating public spaces. We really believe that if we want to address like some pretty big challenges we have around isolation, disconnection, not being resilient, inequity, that really has to happen in spaces where we gather.
Yeah.
Because like gathering and being together and knowing your neighbors is like the cornerstone foundation that builds a healthy community, a healthy neighborhood that like can eventually trickle up.
Totally.
And so we've been doing that work for 8 years now, and really in our projects try to work through very intentional community engagement, and really look at asking the question, what do you want space for?
Yeah.
So, we've done a couple projects recently. Right now, we are operating the former home of Out-of-Town News in Harvard Square. That kind of building right in the center of the square. We're operating that as a free public arts and culture space with exhibitions, installations, events happening all the time, and trying to really return that space from really what it was, which was this gathering place and a place for community. So it's been a really exciting project. We've also done work in Union Square, not far from here. Actually, our very first pop-up space was in Bow Market.
I heard about that. What did you do?
So this was in 2018.
Okay.
We had this idea that people wanted some kind of like third space, free to enter, public living room, indoor park. We had this concept, but we didn't know if people were actually gonna really understand it or get it, and so we did a 1-month pop-up pilot of that in Bow Market, right when Bow Market was just starting, and operated a space. We had like over 50 events over the course of that month.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was a lot, and we really just like tested this idea out, and we said if people don't get it, then like that's great. We did our thing, and we'll like write a little report, and we'll be on our way. But people got it. We had like ping pong tables and couches you could sit on, free Wi-Fi. We had free coffee.
Nice.
And so to this day, the reaction that we got then, we still get it now, is people would say like, I've been looking for a place like this. I just didn't know it could exist. And so that's really carried us through to today. But I mean, that's also especially myself as a queer person, and a lot of our team is queer as well, really bringing a lens of queerness to public spaces as well.
Yeah.
So we did a project last year in Union Square. We opened up this pop-up community space focused on gathering, and it really became a very important gathering place for a lot of queer groups who didn't have a physical place to hold their events and meetings and meetups. And a kind of reminder that, I think queer people have made space forever.
Yeah.
And so we kind of took this approach of what happens if you kind of approach a space without the preconceptions of what it should be. It's not a library. It's not a coffee shop. It's something different. And to try to really start from a place of community first.
Yeah.
So that's been a lot of fun work. The other thing I'll mention too, while I monologue, is that I also co-run a nightlife event called Fruit Stand. We do our events currently out of the Sinclair in Harvard Square, and we run a monthly queer pop night We've had Chito perform.
Right.
They gave an incredible performance.
It's been coming up on 1 year. On that,
Yeah,
so,
it is. Yeah. New Year's last year. And it's been a really exciting journey we've embarked on, because we kind of asked this question of like, what if we took queer nightlife, made it really accessible, and also encouraged people to meet each other. So there's like dancing, but we also always have an activity station. Like last weekend we had Legos out.
Sweet.
And you could like, if you're done dancing, go upstairs and play with Lego. So that's been another exciting journey too.
Sweet. I mean, I feel like we all share a lot of similar kind of like threads of some kind of like, I don't know, wanting third space, or like desiring like more opportunity for community, especially within like the queer community, because like I don't know, I'm like not from here, and I moved here like 8 years ago, and so it was kind of hard to like find like folks who were like me beyond like Club Cafe. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't know where to go. Who do I live with? I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I feel like creating more environments that feel like kind of comfortable for folks, I feel like is something that like at least I'm kind of passionate about. And I feel like a lot of things that what I'm excited about like with your work, and obviously like you are doing that as well, just with like nightlife lens, I think is fun, and like, I don't know, super interesting. Like, what, I guess my question for you is like, obviously we have like a super strong passion for like community, but like what's the root, like what kind of like, what drives you?
Oh boy, if I knew. I think honestly, and maybe it's true for you all too, is that at some point you have to ask a question: if I want this, and I would ask me sometimes, okay, I want this, who's gonna make it? Oh, it's me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like when we have I think the most important piece is like either finding or receiving agency and power to create the space that you're looking to see. Because someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that ultimately community spaces are best when they are created out of necessity, out of people seeing a demand for something and thinking like, if I want this, I bet other people do too.
Yeah.
And I think it just takes people who are delusional enough to think that it might just work out.
Just a couple of delusional people.
Yeah. So, you know.
It's illusion.
Yeah. So honestly, we gotta get more people to be delusional enough to think they can do it.
Hell yeah, honestly. I mean, cheers to that, frankly. I mean, I do like.
Cheers to delusion.
Yeah, cheers to delusion. Hold on. I mean, that's kind of like how like this project started. I mean, it started as a cafe, like night cafe, and I was like, just everything closes at 2 p.m. Like, where can a bitch get a coffee at 4 p.m., 5 p.m., like whatever, just something a little bit later. And so that's how like this thing started. So, yeah, no, I mean, so I respect you a lot for that too, because it's just like, it's a lot of work, and like, and it all like comes, and I don't know, like it all comes from like the soul. Like, I feel like it's easy to like sit at home and be like, Boston sucks. And, like, there's nothing to do here, and like blah blah blah. And it's like almost like, I don't know, I don't want to be like rude, but it's a little bit of sense of entitlement where it's like, I expect this. I live here. I expect this. But it's like, okay, if you expect it, like, and you don't see it, like you said, do it. Like, participate. Like, you know what I mean?
Look around, right? Participate. Come to things that exist.
Yeah.
And then like,
if you
start
have
your own if you have an idea.
If you have a perspective or an idea, like we would love to collaborate. We would love to work with you. Like, let's figure something out.
And I think that's part of like, I know, like, and you've done this in a really incredible way with Give Good Mouth. But like, I think also part of the job of us who have been able to create these spaces and start to like build these structures, and I'm sure we all had a lot of people that helped us get into that, is to then help others who are interested when you see like, you know, somebody interested to provide the structures and the support, so that it's like a little easier for them than it was for you.
Yeah.
Because like ultimately I think that removing the barriers to make creative work happen is how it actually gets done.
Yeah, totally agree. And like, yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons like I wanted to do this project too, is like, just like, how do I use this like platform for other folks too? Because like, it's not fucking Matt show. Like, the Matt show's kind of boring. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone else is like, can do their own thing. I think it's better that way. So yeah, no, I like, I feel that like completely. So yeah, I mean, but also, so yeah, I guess what's your we'll kind of take this conversation, like, how do we, like, what's your perspective on like the kind of Boston like spaces and like your experiences like here, and like nightlife and stuff in particular. And like I can go first because like
Yeah.
I felt like I've really felt like I found the community here probably like 4 or 5 years ago whenever I started going to like the boudoir parties. Like I was really like excited to find something like that because I was like, oh, here's someone like actually doing something and I feel like really comfortable in these spaces and then like they're happening at this like dive bar in Union Square. Like that, great, good. I love this. And so like I feel like that like more of that is and obviously they're still doing things and I'm like working with Mateus and a couple of other folks, but like I don't know, like what were maybe some of your like instances of that kind of space experience, or what are your perspectives on like spaces and like just like the queer scene kind of here?
Yeah.
I think for me, I have such a general attraction to the visual aesthetics of like an interior design. And I think that's always been a struggle for me to capture what it is about Boston nightlife that I've not been connecting with. And I think it is honestly that ability to really curate what the interior space may look like and how malleable that could be for the occasion or vibe that you want to deliver.
Yeah.
And sometimes you are really restricted to like what the vibe of the venue presents to you to have to work with.
Yeah.
And as much as that's still fun, for a place that's so historic of buildings, of energy, of spaces, it really does feel to me that like if you were to create a new space, how is that going to look like? Like a physical space, how is that going to look like? And maybe that's just me prioritizing what I yearn out of like that type of necessity when it comes to Boston nightlife and shaping that into community. Because I think about the rugs that we're in here with right now. It's such a warm, hygge, cozy vibe to me that I really love. And it really takes me into the energy and space to feel comfortable to be in this conversation with you.
Yeah.
And I feel like the same thing can be applied to a lot of nightlife spaces. And it's really cool to see what people are trying to create when they do take that into a prioritization.
Yeah.
Well, we as queer people are cursed with the desire to redecorate.
That is true.
We walk in, we're like, so I would do this a little differently, and I think we're gonna hang something there, and the lighting's gotta change.
Really?
Yeah. It usually starts with the lighting for me.
We gotta start the lighting. Oh boy, if I can make a loud outlaw overhead lighting.
Yeah, seriously.
But I think that's a really good point, and I mean when we do Fruit Stand, we have like a fairly black box to start with, but we bring in our own lighting, we bring in like decorations, we basically transform the space that we're in. At College House, we do the same thing. We come into a place that is like, looks totally uninviting, and we're painting every wall, we're changing out the lights, we are adding in rugs, we're adding in, right, you have to, it's so important. It like the way the space is makes us feel something.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. That was kind of like a huge piece of inspiration for me. Was like I feel like architecture really inspires like how we like feel and like how we're able to like open up and be able to like exist in space like that. Yeah, that's just a huge impact that like not everyone necessarily like we don't necessarily think about immediately. And that's one of the reasons I love Satellite too, is like everything's wood. Like it just feels like an old like Irish bar, and I'm like, this has been here for ages.
Yeah.
I love when it's old. Like,
But the wood's got history though.
Yeah.
That part's really cute.
What is you know it, the history or?
Vaguely. I'm also really bad at retelling, so I'll try my best. Because I know that like it was like a COVID lockdown pandemic project for the the owner of the Once venue that used to be like up the hill.
Oh, yes.
So they completely renovated that Irish bar, and they utilized all the wood from like their family home.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And so all of that was taken apart. I don't know what happened to the home. I'm assuming she's gone.
God.
Maybe renovate. I don't know. I digress.
No walls.
No walls. Very ventilation through.
Yeah,
the roof.
open concept.
So knowing like the history behind the wood actually made me really appreciate that part. Knowing that there's also so few places that have a stage, incredible selection of both alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
incredible food at the same time. Like to have all those things into one go is kind of tough to find,
Yeah.
specifically for like queer nightly.
Yeah.
So it's like for a Thursday night, she has always been such a treasure to hold on to and like work with them.
Yeah.
So I understand what you mean by the wood paneling being a very different approach.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I ignore that part.
Yeah. Well, I'll shout out DJ Frazzo, who co-runs Fruit Stand with me, and he has actually like created an entire fully like battery operated mobile lighting setup that you can bring to venues.
Cool.
And it's incredible. And so like just with like some clips and more than a little bit of time for setup, but can totally transform a space.
Nice.
So I think there's work there too. Other than that, I mean, the thing that you bring up too is like access to space is so important.
Yeah.
And like people who have ownership over space and people who are looking for space, it's really hard to find the match between those two. And I'll like bring up an interesting that was reading about recently, which is there's been this like reporting on the closing of gay bars and like that all these gay bars are closing and it's in like decline across the country. And there's some researchers in Vancouver who basically said, what if we also looked at pop-ups and events? And they found that if you just look at like brick and mortar traditional gay bars, yes, they are closing. But if you actually expand that and look at more like events and pop-ups, it's an explosion.
Whoa.
And I feel like I totally see that in Boston.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And like that's where the energy is. And also, which again I see this in Boston too, but what they found is that those events that are popping up now are more likely to be not just focused on white men, more BIPOC focused, more generally queer focused, or sapphic focused, and a much more actually like, inclusive nightlife, or just not even nightlife, but like inclusive spaces.
Yeah.
And so totally seeing that in Boston, I think the big question is like, how do you then help to make those pop-ups into more established so that like, because pop-ups, as we all know, are a lot of time and effort. And so I think there's a really interesting, like, how do you then take that energy and help to support that? It might not be a traditional brick and mortar, it might be something different, but how do you help make access to space easy so that doesn't end up being a burden, because often access to space is what makes it very difficult to actually make those events happen.
Yeah, no, I totally feel that, and like I totally see that too, and that's also it's interesting too, because I feel like part of the like pop-up like event element is that I can go to this party and I know like the people who are gonna be, but we're gonna be in a different place, or like I don't like there's like this whole like sexy thing that's like I don't know where it's gonna be until the day of, like it's there's just like kind of like sexy thing about it, which I can kind of understand, like, and that's what's kind of like a fun way to like navigate like the event space, is like it's always a little bit different, which is like I don't know, like opportunity for local business owners, tap tap tap, like, you know what I mean? It's like hello, if you have something interesting, or like if you're just sitting on like an empty warehouse, like people want that. Like I think I've literally called like a couple of warehouses being like, hey, so what's going on here? And they're like, fuck off, like they're literally like, fuck off. But I don't know, I think like that's what's exciting, like, to me. I don't know, and I don't know, I'd be kind of curious too to figure out like what would folks be like looking for in like you had mentioned like black box, like what does a black box look like, and like how can we like make that something a little bit more like customizable or like interesting or something. I mean, that was kind of like how we try to put this space together a bit, was so like how do we like change this so it can be like dance versus conversation versus like yoga, like it was so it was just like that's it. But so yeah, I mean, like, I feel like adaptability feels like kind of like the future way, because I don't know, people's interests and like our appetite is like always kind of like changing and evolving, so like as a business you kind of have to like adapt that way. So yeah, but I know we've been talking quite a bit about spaces, and honestly this is kind of like one of my favorite topics to which to talk about, so we can continue talking about that. But I would also love to kind of be curious to hear like just like how the relationship between space and like relationship with like family, and like what those like interactions are, and like maybe what your experience have been because I feel like we're like a population that like it's not always easy to go home sometimes, and like I just like that's where I find a lot of value in the communities in which we are all working to create is like knowing the folks that like are going to show up at your events regularly and being comfortable in those spaces and like navigating like our weird queer lives, you know, like it's, you know what I mean, like it's like that's kind of like part of this like weird thing, but it's also like part of how we exist. And so I feel like I'm just trying to acknowledge like that is like how our existence like kind of maybe operates. And like yeah, so I guess like what's like in a long kind of like weird convoluted like way of like what's your kind of like relationship with like the concept of like chosen family, or how would you like interpret it? And I can go first. Would you like me to go first? Because I know it's kind of a heavy question.
Go for it.
I feel like with this conversation series, I was like, let's talk about all the hard topics. I was like, let's talk about sex, religion. Let's talk about literally everything. But no, yeah, I feel like I mean, I'm grateful to have like a family, like a blood family that's like a bit like supportive, and like, you know, they're like, we're in the Air Force and like we're very like Christian, and like there was a little bit of maneuvering to go with them. So I'm very grateful in which like where I've kind of gotten them into a position. But like, I don't know. That being said, like I feel like there are parts of us that like aren't always seen or like appreciated or are totally completely understood by like the folks that we have back at home. And so I mean, as someone who was like not necessarily from the Boston area, like it was kind of hard to like find community there. And like I necessarily am not the best at like making gay friends, if I'm gonna be completely honest. Like I literally am like, how do I do this? But so yeah, like I think like it's super, for me, like it feels like really important and like something that like would like to make easier for folks. Like I don't know, like kind of what you were saying about like if you don't see it, like make it. Like if I were to move here 8 years ago or something, I would love to have a space to be like, oh, like here's all these people that are gonna go be somewhere. They're all gonna be kind of like me, and like it's gonna be kind of a chill, like low anxiety, like kind of place. Like sounds interesting. You know what I mean? So like I don't know, like trying to make more spaces that are available for folks to just like really casually kind of connect, I feel like is great. Like I feel so isolated with like our phones and like our social personas and like who we're trying to project, and like that just feels so separate to like who I am as a human being. And like it just is like, I don't know, that feels like a completely different conversation to like being able to like sit next to a stranger and just be like, hi, you know what I mean? Like so I don't know. I mean, I personally am trying to like get better at just like I don't know, reaching out to folks and stuff, and like that's kind of what part of this project. But yeah, it's like I'm trying to make more spaces for family and like considering each other as like brothers and sisters in like a certain way, and like treating each other with like such familiar respect, because it's like we're better together type of situation. Like we're kind of all fighting the system in some kind of way and capacity. So it's like let's like put our like differences aside and like maybe just try a little harder to work together, you know what I'm saying? Like so yeah.
Would you like to go first, or
Go ahead.
Okay. I can think of it. So I've also been in Boston for like 8 years.
Me too.
You have also been there?
Oh my god, what? We gotta get
Anniversary party.
Yeah. So when I first left, I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, and I went to school up in Maine. So I've been in the New England area for 12-ish years, 13. Oh my gosh. My favorite number. And I literally chose Maine from the context of how distant I was from my own family. I don't have a strong relationship with them. I didn't back then. It's getting better, but I think there's still a lot that needs to be spoken about directly, rather than just like, that's in the past, and that's not how I work. But I am excited to finally have them up for Christmas for the first time. This will be the first holidays that I spend with them in like 8-9 years.
Oh my god, good for you. That's really exciting. Are you making a ham?
No. That's a lot of effort. I leave all the cooking to my partner. I can't do that. But I went up to Maine because I knew that if I had to force myself into a space where I had to navigate an entirely different context, geography, climate, community.
Yeah.
And like, can I get out of that after 4 years and feel like I can handle anything that comes my way afterwards? I said, fuck it. Like, screw it. Like, I need to know if I can handle it. What that did do, though, was it did delay my ability to find my chosen family so much more later in life than I anticipated. So I didn't really have any queer friends in school. Maine, there's barely any people there. But if there coming from Atlanta, yes.
Oh yeah.
And then on top of that, like I step outside and they're like, you're not white. So like it just like adds on to it where like I'm already gonna be very othered and I'm not, and I would love to get used to a space where I can walk around and not stand out. But even here in Boston, that was happening a lot. And as I finally had my queer awakening, I don't know, I was already queer, but like my yearn to finally find queer community, pandemic hit. So like it literally, it dragged on for so long until I can finally like find what it was. And I already felt like there was an unwelcoming presence of people having a perception of who I was, for seeing me for so long, but never really being able to introduce myself. I was like, oh shit, I'm kind of becoming the enemy that everyone just like doesn't know how to like say hello to. And it really was like, let me show you I'm really not that alarming, and I'm actually such a goofball by nature. And I think that's why that was really why I did drag. Like I think it was this momentum of the very first few individuals that I like really was like, you are my friend, and more than just friend, I feel like we're making a connection that allows us to have these deeper conversations that is inherently not a natural thing within the queer community to find when you first meet someone. I think it's a very
sometimes you click.
And I'm very thankful that like the ones that like I've like was talking a lot about my frustrations with this scene. I think we're all very motivated people, and now we've gone on to produce AstroCon and like be part of Bust Down, run Feral. I'm running GGM. Like the fact that like the few of us who really were just like finding those connections because we know what we believe in and realizing that we can continue to do that. It's been really fascinating to take, you know, the chosen family that I have and understanding that like as long as we continue to project what we wish around us,
to see,
it'll allow other people to realize that Boston is that place, she is that girl. But you know, it's just so tough. It's just so tough because I do agree with what you were saying earlier with everything coming down closer to the events and like the people who run the like those specific productions rather than the spaces themselves holding like the sense of community. And it really is like you have to just jump in head first to figure out what it is that you're looking for and give everything a shot. And no matter what, I think it's just fun to meet people at all times. So just constantly say hello to people, and I think that it'll always just make loving where you are, the physical space that you are, all the better. And it really was a game changer for me.
That's lovely. I think when I think about chosen family, it's interesting because I think that word like choice is very interesting because we just don't have a lot of structure. We have a lot of structure built into blood families where it's like you are meant to be in touch and to go to these events together, and it's like built-in structure to what it means to be a family. And like beauty and also challenge with chosen families that they don't have those set structures. So I think something that I'm thinking about right now is how do I nurture my chosen family? Because I mean, I get to the point where like I saw a friend today just like on the street, like walking by, that I hadn't seen in like maybe 2 years because we just like had not really like connected and like reached out to like spend time together. And like spending time with your chosen family it's a choice.
Yeah.
And you have to choose to do that. So I feel like that is like both the blessing and the curse of chosen family. So I feel like I'm like in a moment right now where I'm really trying to rededicate myself to spending that time with those people, to meeting new people, and then deciding like I'm gonna meet you, and then also dedicate to spending time with you. Like getting dinner with a new friend once a month.
Yeah.
Like things like that, because I've definitely felt that it can be so easy when you don't nurture that chosen family to realize that you've gone like months without like seeing this person.
Yeah.
And like, yeah. So I think like that's what I've been thinking about a lot with chosen family is the ways to like choose.
Yeah, and like maintain. I feel like I'm not the best. Same too, where I'm not always the best at like maintaining relationship. But in my mind, I'm like, yeah, we haven't seen each other in a year, but like we can pick off literally where we left off.
Yeah.
Like it's like there's
right.
like no, I'm not the kind of person that's like, where the fuck have you been? Like, I don't know.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
And that's like something that I like really appreciate, like when that type of energy is like reflected back at me, because it's like we all are got our own lives. Like people are performing, people are like fucking getting like master's degrees, like we're all trying to do our own shit. So it's just like when we have the time and choose to spend the time with one another, like that's kind of a big thing that I've been like really reflecting on with this project, is like truly we only really have like the present moment. And so it's like, thank you so much for being here with me.
Okay, wait, but I also have to put my urban designer hat and like talk about how, we're going to connect it all, spaces are also really important for cultivating those kind of relationships.
Yeah.
Because you're not always going to be like dedicated to spending time with this one person. But I think a well-designed neighborhood means that you run into people. Yeah. And you see them on the street. And like for me, I mean, I live not too far from here.
Yeah.
And after like living this neighborhood for like 2 years, I started just like recognize people on the street.
Yeah.
And like those people became my family.
Yeah.
And like I just like see them in the park, see them walking down the street, see them in Union Square. And those like repeat interactions, even if you don't know everything about that person, the fact that you have seen each other many times.
Yeah. Small touch points.
Exactly. These small touch points like gives you that familiarity. Totally. And it makes it so much easier to like say hello to them.
Yeah.
Or to like, I mean, there's literally research that will show that like even if you don't know the name of your neighbor, if you live in a street that's like narrow enough that you see them often, you will be more likely to go and like ask them when you need help.
Oh, cool! Because of just the familiarity.
Just the familiarity. It's like you see their facial expression. You know them without knowing them.
A relationship without even
having
to open
and so like interactions that we can have in spaces where they're frequent and where there's different opportunities for that give us a familiarity, and then when we need something because we're in crisis or not, just
need a cup of sugar.
Right, like literally, that like. We have that familiarity. So I think it's the benefit of having spaces that let you have frequent interactions with people in your community.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I feel like that's maybe, I don't know if it's necessarily unique to like the Union Square, like Inman Square kind of area, because I feel like there's like both, I mean, like we in conversations during this whole project, like we've been talking about like how just like densely populated Somerville is.
80,000, maybe 90,000 people in 4 square miles.
Yeah, it's like kind of insane. And
it's a huge part of it.
Yeah, and so I feel like having all these like bars and restaurants that like people like go to, or the events that like are popping up in all these different spaces, definitely kind of inspire that kind of like intimate, like local intimacy, I guess, which I think does. It has so much to do with like participation and like showing up and like trying or like just existing in space, like that I feel like is like super inspiring. Even just being here and like meeting all these like random people that are like, is this a rug store? Like, you know what I mean? I'm trying. Hello, say hello to me in the street. But like, I mean, I feel like even a concrete example is Paul from Reliable Market. Like he knows everyone. Oh, everyone knows
love
him.
Paul.
See, like
love Paul.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Like this guy, like he was gonna be on the cast, but like he was like, I'm busy opening a restaurant, and I was like, literally, do you, sir? But I mean, like just like people like that are like that are just so natural at like creating and like holding community and just acknowledging individuals, I think is like such a key part of like what it makes what like a neighborhood like really makes. And even like my friend Monea, who's doing like the breathwork classes here, like I met her at a party at Union Square Tavern, and then like she lives around here, so I see her on the street with her dog all the time, and then we just became like really good friends. And I'm like, this is more of this, please. Like more of this, please.
Yeah.
Like, I used to be a resident of Union Square for like 5 years, like right behind Bill Market.
Oh yeah.
And I moved. I know, I'm south of the Charles.
Traitor!
Wow, that's so brave.
But like coming back for like to work with Satellite and bring like any opportunity I can to like come back to this area. Honestly, I'm the most active here when it comes to drag. Like I'm maybe like a 9-minute bike ride from Jacques, and I still am coming over here for all of my drag, like, life. Because honestly, it's where I've become, like, I've made my new friends, I've made my community, I'm invested in knowing the other communities that are still like popping up and blossoming here.
Yeah.
And honestly, she's fierce. Like, she's so fierce here. Like, I cannot deny that.
I fear she is.
Yeah, I fear she is. So like to me, any opportunity I can to always make this like the neighborhood where I can have more of that exploration of community, I honestly prioritize this area.
Yeah.
I really do love it. I do know what it is. It is the people. It is honestly the fashion is.
Yeah. I so like my office is right in Union Square, and it like faces. I look out at a crosswalk all day, and
You get the catwalk.
Yes,
No
literally. I'm like yes.
Walk for me.
I want to do like a sissy that crosswalk like thing because I'm like always taking photos of people's fits as they're walking across.
Just blast sushi by Twigs. Like, like sushi.
We love our neighborhood.
Oh, that's wonderful. Cool. Well, I feel like I feel like we can kind of wrap up unless you like have anything else that you wanted to like touch on or talk about or like promote or whatever. I don't know. Any like parties or projects that we've got coming up? Like, what are we doing?
Give Good Mouth had its finale.
Oh.
She's returning in January, so fast turnaround time. It's gonna be once a month. It's moving to Friday nights. Still gonna be no cover. What's really cool about thinking about Chosen Family too. Community members of GGM who are coming every single time. Love them so much. Like the fact that there are patrons that like came through and have offered to double the grand prize. It's just showing how much like people are so willing to make this happen because we're creating a space. Not just me, but like everyone around me. And that part is really cool. So I'm really excited to show that off once more. Starts back up January 23rd. It'll be fierce. So there's that. And then honestly, the only show I have prior to that, because I'm taking all that time for preparation, is on Saturday. Legacy with Denali.
Oh, cool! Yeah.
Yeah,
Amazing.
so it's kind of like pop off with a bang before like I just like go radio silent because I don't
Yeah,
post
same,
on Instagram
literally.
that much. I really am like in the moment kind of girly rather than social media. But
Love.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's gonna be fun.
We have another fruit stand coming up on New Year's Eve, which is gonna be so much fun. I sadly won't be there, but it's gonna be great.
Tomfoolery.
Yes. Yeah, I'm truly so upset I won't be able to see it, but I cannot wait to hear it and see the photos. And then we're doing events monthly, so all the info's out there. Also, we'll give a shout out for like sign up for the newsletter lists, because just like in general, if you like events, if you want to hear about them, I don't know if you'll experience this, but like social media it's a fickle thing.
Yeah.
And so as much as you can, trying to connect people directly is just like a much better way to actually hear about things, to hear from them directly than if you're on social media, you have to just do whatever the algorithm wants you to do. Yeah. Like that's how you get through to it. And so like I would just always encourage folks to like do your research, find the places, follow them and support them. Because like ultimately showing up at events and then connecting directly with those events and sharing your support is like the way that we support these things.
Totally. I still believe in print media.
Yeah, please,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Posters on the street.
Yes.
I love
Oh,
them.
posters are like one of the most effective ways to promote.
Yeah.
Like truly.
I'm still looking. I don't know.
It's brought out
Yeah.
it's brought out like incredible people. Once I actually did the physical flyers, like
Yeah.
I think that did a bigger
Yeah.
difference than
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A long shot.
Yeah.
Can I like do a quick shout out to like a random person on Instagram that I think does a really great job of like helping the research part be a little bit more efficient. A Great Day in Boston or A Great Day in
Yeah.
They really do a great job of like continuously like showing what's happening every weekend from a lot of different pockets of nightlife around Boston.
Super smart.
Yeah.
It's like it like and it's run by Chito, who's a nightlife photographer.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, amazing.
like check that out. Check that out. Like seriously.
Also Kikipedia.
Kikipedia.
Always like great. And it's like good place to go.
I don't even know what that is.
Wikipedia?
Oh, sorry.
Oh my God, you gotta get
I'm
on there.
learning,
You gotta put your
guys,
events
I'm
on
learning.
there.
Oops.
And also like go to an event by yourself.
Yeah, I do.
That too.
Like do
definitely
it.
do.
Like do it. Bring a book or don't, and go and talk to people. There's a lot more out there than might like. It seems scarier than it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.